Okay, the title of this vlog is Don't Hate Me Because I'm Thin. And this is kind of one of those true confessions things, but it'll give you an idea why I'm having such a hard time getting used to the idea of being thin. When I was waiting to go and get my second daughter in Guatemala, we have two daughters, and they both were adopted as very young infants from Guatemala. And we had our first one home, and they're 2 2/3 years apart. And we were waiting to be able to go and pick up the second one. My arms ached so much. We went back and forth on whether to get another one, and I talked to mothers and they said, 2 is more than twice the work of 1. And the only mothers who said 2 wasn't a problem were the ones that had 3 or more. Okay, so I knew it was going to stretch me emotionally, it was going to stretch us financially, especially since adoption not cheap. And this was over 20 years ago. I hated every woman with a baby in her arms, especially when I got to Guatemala, and it was several days before we were able to get her. And I was in pain. My arms ached. I hated every woman with a baby. The minute they put her in my arms, that was gone. And I never wished for another one. But that, I remember that hate. Because I've always hated thin people. So perhaps that's why when I feel I'm insensitive sometimes when I talk to large people, like I'm one of them when they see me as thin or more down there. At my support group, there was a woman who had duodenal switch and had been very, very big and had not ever been able to lose all of the weight she needed to, and she had gained back up. She was probably close to 300 pounds again. And so hadn't been coming to support group because it's hard to go to support group when you're failing. I know there were times in the beginning when I wasn't doing well that I didn't go, and then I thought, damn it, I'm going to suck it up because I need the support. And so we were having an informal time, which doesn't happen very often. And I said to her, and I was maybe once, I don't know, I might have been like 160 something at the time. I said, do you hate me? And she said, yes. So, and I understood exactly what she was talking about. So, even when I watch blogs, and there are a lot of weight loss surgery blogs of especially women who were over 300 pounds and now they're very small, and it's like, yeah, sure. It's like skinny bitch. I have to go back and look at their before in order to be able to accept where they are now. And that's sick. But I go back and I see the full face and the round tummies, and then I can celebrate with them and accept the thinness. But to be thin and still have these feelings for thin people, actually now it may be shifting to young people. So if I can get my vitality up and back, I won't mind being so old. It was, with the way some of the world is, with Trump running for president, it's like, oh God, I'm glad I'm old. I'm going to die soon. I won't be here when the world goes totally screwy. So that's the true confession. That's the one secret that I just really have not shared in an obvious way. I mean, I'm sure it might, if you knew me and you saw me, sometimes you would wonder. I think that once I get, my middle is still, and when I stand up and look in the mirror, it's really not an issue. But when I sit down, all this middle skin just puddles. And I can pinch here, you know, they say pinch at your shoulder. Well, not much there. But here I can grab a whole handful, and there's solid, I don't know, now, inch between, which if you can pinch more than an inch, isn't that what they say? So it's getting better, but in the front it's thicker. It's about 2 inches in the middle, in the front. And I still feel fat because, you know, Andy asked me, do I always wear long sleeves? Well, to my elbows usually, because it wasn't until I had my arms done last summer. I wasn't just large, I was deformed, and they hung almost over my elbows. So even a short sleeve shirt, it would swing and you could see it underneath, and I just was not comfortable. Much better, and if I'm sedate, I go around the house now in just even a cami, and I'm okay with that. And I wear sleeveless things in limited, but I've not gone out in sleeveless. My scars are quite prominent, and because I've lost weight since I had surgery, I was at about 165, and then I went up to 191. You know, there's a lot of swing, and the left arm is bigger. He doesn't ever get anything even, and there's, you know, it's more like a 60-year-old woman, but I got the lines going up. So I need, as soon as I get to P3, I want to start. I have a couple of those. I bought one and I didn't remember I had it, and then I bought another one, a different kind, and I was rummaging around. Oh, I got one of these already. It's like the bar with the stretchies on it. I was thinking about getting a trainer, but if I'm going to have surgery on my back in October, November, and then we go to Florida to start up with a trainer, I'd rather do something. I have a heavy pad that I can take and lay out in the campground and do my whatever. And it's a little bit like, I have a reformer, but Pilates reformer, but it's, the room is, my sewing room is a shambles, and that's where I've been doing it. And this summer it's been too hot, so now that the weather's picking up a little bit, maybe I'll clear out that room and put that back down. And because I like Pilates, it really made me lean and long, you know, as much as you can with that size. But where am I going with it? Oh, I think once when I sit down, it doesn't all puddle. Yes, I wear blousey, because number one, I was taught that in order to camouflage, you wear to your hips and you wear it blousey. I have, when I first hit 165, 155, I was wearing, if you go back, I think I've got a screenshot, 165 in the dressing room, but I had like a garment shaper on, and it's been too warm for that. So perhaps when I hit goal, I'll put the shaper on to kind of hold the skin in place, and I'll do a body shop for you, and for me. One of the things I'm concerned about is that when I got to 153, and then I went up a little bit, and 155 was my LDW, when I got to 165, I felt fat. I got so used to that, losing it, that when I started gaining it, I felt like a failure. So when I got to 165 this time, I didn't get out those clothes that were body contouring. I kept wearing my big overblouse things. So I'm going to need some mental reconstruction. I will never be, there's a girl who's 5'8" and about my weight, but she just looks so you know. But I got extra skin. My calves, I can't wear skinny jeans. I have no calves, no thighs anymore, but my calves are so big from all the exercise walking that I've done all my life, that I put on skinny jeans, and they're snug tight around my calves, and then they look like those joppers, those riding pants with the big balloon on the. As it is, a lot of times I have to take the pants in the legs because my waist is so big that in order to get the legs to fit. So, you know, I'm still going to have those challenges, and my forearms are always going to be meatier. I was worried after my surgery about looking like olive oil, and a little bit of that's going on because my upper arms are so thin and my lower ones are not so much. So that's True Confessions. That's why the transition to being a thin person, I'm ready to be done, but I'm so scared of what comes next. Except I'm ready to give keto a try, but I'm so afraid that because of my malabsorption issues, I won't be able to do it. And I don't want to get back into the carbs. I have felt so bad for so long. I don't know if I reported my blood test for the ferritin for the infusion. The bottom number, it's like 20 to 100 and something is the range. I'm 16. I have to be 10 to get an infusion. So I haven't been feeling bad. It's not like I'm crawling like I was the last time. I've started things like I started selenium and biotin and iodine, and those have helped perk me up a little bit. And now with the fasting and the energy from the ketosis, that's been helping. So I'm feeling better. I'm not feeling like I need an infusion or I'm going to just croak. But yet I'm not raring to go. Except I did ask my husband to take my bike off the trailer, and he said, oh, it's so much work. We're going to go on Sunday. And I said, yeah, but what if I want to ride it before then? Well, he's lived with me a long time, and I don't think he believed that I would ride it, but I think I just might if it weren't hooked up on the back of the trailer. So I'll get the chance to ride it this weekend, and then maybe that'll be a thing. That's a good fall thing, too. So until it gets too cold to be out here, I'll be out, and you can see if my trees don't turn really pretty colors, but it'll be interesting. I kind of like seeing my screenshots with the trees in the background. Beats being in the bedroom with the butterfly. That's my sewing room with the butterfly curtains. So, healthy dose of me today. Sorry about that. It's only because I can only do 15 minutes at a time that I had to break up my vlogs. So, Nirvana, I know you don't like 2-part vlogs. I'm sorry. But I can't run a 30-minute vlog because I just use my iPhone and I don't know how to do any. No, I won't say that. I do know how to do a little bit of iMovie. But if I make it too long, it won't upload. And it takes a long time to upload as it is. So, okay, that's all for now. Wonder what I'm going to get at the store tonight. I don't know. Bye. It starts